Okay, let's get started. I'm still learning. That's what this video is all about. Hi, I'm Bill, and welcome to the Astro Vagabond channel. If you go back to some of my early videos, I probably said that one of the things that I was looking forward to about the hobby of astronomical imaging is that I'll be on a continuous learning curve. And I got smacked with another learning here just recently. It's all good, like many things, but again, it brings me to a point where I have to make a compromise. So I was using the ASI 294mm Pro. And you see from this diagram here, my sensor was 6.5 millimeters set back. And I was using this on my Red Cat 51. And I made a decision, okay, I'm going into starfront observatories down in Texas, and I'm concerned about the need to have to take flat darks with this sensor in the 294. So typically many of us in the community of owners, we go for a flat that is a minimum of 3 seconds when we're taking our flats. And then of course we do a corresponding flat dark at the same exposure seconds for each of the filters that we're collecting flats and flat darks for. So within the community of owners, many believe that you cannot use the bias files as part of your calibration, and therefore that's where the flat darks come in. And again, and I think it has something to do, I don't totally understand it. I kind of just accept what many in the community say about this camera, is that the sensor kind of ramps up into 2 stages before it becomes stable, and you kind of got to get it up to the 3-second point. And I probably got that wrong, so feel free to correct me. And again, the 294 has amp glow, so that's why calibration frames are very important, and I've always been able to calibrate out the amp glow. So this 294, I really liked this camera. It's got a micro 4/3 sensor size, been a good camera. But I said, okay, going to a remote observatory, I'm going to have to do everything remotely. I've got a rotator on my Red Cat 51. If I rotate, I'm going to have to take flat and flat darks. And that becomes a bit of a problem where I can't step in front of my telescope, put my lens cap on for the flat darks. So anyway, I said, okay, let me change cameras. And so a lot of people were saying, okay, get the ASI 2600. I did not do my due diligence. And what I did not understand about the ASI 2600, as you see here, the sensor is set back 17.5. Well, I knew that the tilt ring could be removed, and I don't have a problem with that, so I did that. But that left me the sensor being set back at 12.5 once I took this ring off. And with my Red Cat 51 and its helical focuser, I just don't have enough travel. I even went to bolt the camera directly to the filter wheel, so there's no spacers in there, and they give you a little mask that you can use, and you can bolt your camera directly to your filter wheel. And what you don't see here is I'll come back and I'll neatly place some electrical tape, black electrical tape, along this seam here to try and prevent any light leakage. Now, many people say doing this with the little spacer or mask that they give you does the job of keeping the light out, but I'm going to go that extra step. So what I wound up doing is I wound up taking my Wander Astro Mini V2 out of my image train because even though I removed the tilt plate, I still was not able to bring the Red Cat 51 into focus, and I couldn't, there was not enough travel in the helical focuser for me to get to the focus point that I needed to get to. So basically took my rotator out. This is a good rotator. I've only tested with it. I actually haven't shot a night with it. So the issue is nothing with the rotator. I could maybe try and change these spacers a little bit to take a little bit more, get a little bit more back, where maybe I can get just enough. But I just decided, when I got my Zenastar Z61 Mod 2, it did not have a rotator. I imaged I don't know, I owned that scope for maybe a year and a half, 2 years. I think once I went out and manually rotated it. So I really don't need a rotator, at least based upon my past experience. So I said, okay, let me just take it out. Let me simplify things for placing this scope into the remote observatory, and if I find a better solution on how to bring the Red Cat 51 where I can get enough additional millimeters where I could put the rotator back in at some point, I will. But I'm going to live life without the rotator like I had been with my Z61. So the factory, is that I purchased this rotator, and I've yet to do a night of imaging with it, and it looks like I won't. At least not in the near future, and I'm okay with that. The other thing, though, is if we go into astronomy.tools and look at the field of view calculator, when it comes to framing, and that was the reason that I wanted the rotator, I really wanted the rotator to try something new. At the end of the day, I was doing fine without a rotator, but I said, okay, let me see what life with a rotator might be like, and how that might change my processes and everything. Yes, it make it a little bit more complex and all those things, but I wanted that experience. But I'm not going to get it, at least not now, not for the near term. But when I look at a field of view, let's say with the wide field Red Cat 51 at 250 millimeter, the green is what the field of view would be with my ASI 294 MM Pro. And then with the ASI 2600 MM Pro, I get a larger field of view. And so I think this extra space, again, it's all about choosing which targets I choose to image. So really, I think not having a rotator is not going to be a big impact. It's a compromise. It's one that I'm willing to live with. And, I'll get the telescope installed down in Starfront, and I'll start imaging. And if I really feel that's not working out, well, I'll do something else. I'll find another solution. Maybe I'll replace the Red Cat or something like that that'll allow me to put a rotator in. So that's kind of life in a sense. So I'm making that compromise. I did get notification that my flap panel from Deep Sky Dad should be arriving on the 2nd of December by end of day, and that timing is perfect because I am going to take both my telescopes down to Landers, California. Weather looks good. I'm going to go down there for a few days and do final checkout to make sure everything is tuned up so that when I take them down to Starfront, and I've got that date scheduled on when I'm going to drop off the equipment, I'll know that everything's performing well, that all my cable management is proper. I'll reestablish filter offsets. I've already done it for the AS 2600 Pro with my Redcat 51. I was able to get a target long enough in my backyard the other night to run Dark's Customs, or filter offset calculator, I think we call it now, in Nina. And so I was able to do 3 runs of all 7 filters and get my filter offsets established for the Redcat 51. I want to do the same with my Edge HD8. So that's kind of it. I'm going to live life with my Redcat 51 down in Brady, Texas. Actually, it's I think Rockwood, where they're actually located, without my rotator, and I think I'll be fine. The sun will come up in the morning. So anyway, I wanted to give you an update on where I'm going, and I'm excited to be able to use the AS 2600 Although I loved my ASI 294 Pro, I am not going to sell it. In case I want to do a change out and I find a good way to take darks remotely, or flat darks remotely, and darks when it comes time to refresh the dark library, then maybe that AS294 Pro will make a reappearance on my Redcat 51, which would then allow me to put the rotator back in. But we'll see. Many opportunities to learn in this hobby, and definitely, I never feel comfortable because there's always something I don't know. But that's also what makes it fun. And hey, you just have to adjust and move forward accordingly. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And I may do a video from Landers. That'll be my last trip, since I'll no longer have telescopes available to me. They'll be down in Texas, And other than that, again, if you like content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Comments are always appreciated. Questions are appreciated. And I am doing a project. An imager reached out to me. She purchased a bunch of equipment, and she's looking for some assistance on getting it operational. I said I would be willing to help. And what excites me about that is I'm always wanted to build a more structured process flow with links for information on the various things you need to know about, like guiding and dithering and those type of things. So working with her, this will give me an opportunity to build that structure and build that content, and then I can share that with other people. And she purchased some really nice gear, and so it's going to be fun helping her get that into operation, including her ASI 6200 she's got an and an MC, so it should be fun. All right. Other than that, hopefully you have clear skies when it's time for you to image. See you next time.